Hello, everyone.
Hi. This episode is about pushing yourself and when to not push yourself, when to push through your frustrations and pushing yourself. And I'm going to keep saying pushing, and it just reminds me of having. I took a laxative the other day.
On that note, if you would like to get episodes early, please get a membership either on YouTube or at glitterandcatlitter.com. And we hope you enjoy this episode. Glitter and cat litter.
Well, I guess if I'm starting it talking about a laxative, that leaves a lot to be imagined.
I've never taken a laxative, so I don't know what you're experiencing.
I can say that until yesterday, I did not ever take one either, nor have I needed to. Well, I guess I didn't even need to.
I thought for solidarity I probably should have, but then I didn't know if we would both be in trouble. We're seeing a 3-hour movie. So.
I don't recommend that for anyone. I had no reason. Well, I had hardly any reason to be taking one. I was doing fine, but not well. And okay, for the backstory, I was going to try and be vague about it, but I can't. So we switched our proteins to something that was more exciting, that had flavor.
Better.
Yeah, it tasted way better. But apparently my body said, we are not to process this. And I did not realize for, I don't know, pretty much like half of the container, which was like a week and a half of the protein.
I think it was more than that.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And so then it just like, I was always bloated. I just like felt full 100% of the time. I could go... Because we usually fast from dinner to lunch. So it's usually like a 16-8 is kind of our intermittent fasting schedule. And I would go in the morning and have, I'm not joking, 3 ounces of water. Instantly, my body would bloat and my stomach would be pushed out like 1 to 3 inches beyond my chest. You can confirm this.
Yeah.
True. Never in my life has that been the case, ever. Not even when I was a bigger human was that the case.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is wrong. This can't be right. I've only had water in the past like 14 hours, 12 hours. So I'm like, what is going on? And then she pointed out protein and I was like, oh, maybe we should stop. And then it slowly started to get better, but it's been very uncomfortable every day as it slowly gets better. And I was like, we're going hard. I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So we went and bought laxatives and I took it. It says overnight, which I was like, I'm tough enough to not do this overnight.
Well, the first possible mistake was there was one for sensitive stomachs and then there was a regular one. And we got the regular one, not the one for sensitive stomachs. And then he took it at 4 p.m. instead of taking it overnight.
Yeah, so it is like clockwork. When it says 6 to 12 hours, it's going to work. She's right. Real right. But before that, the amount of nausea I got was like, I literally felt like I had the flu, like a horrible flu. So the overnight thing is so important to take into consideration. If I had really known, I 100% would have taken that right before bed. It would have been great.
So PSA, take it before bed.
Yeah, PSA, do that. It also basically just... For anybody who's ever been curious, it really just feels like you have a wild stomach ache, but it's not a painful stomach ache. It's more like you just got bubble guts. That's basically it. You just got the bubble guts for a while. So you never trust a fart, and it's wild, and it's fully brought on by myself.
Most things are.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm dehydrated, so this is wild. And fun, and we're gonna go sit through a 3-hour movie where I don't want to get up to have to go pee, so I'm gonna stop drinking water sooner than later.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Speaking of being in your own way, or
speaking of pushing.
Oh my gosh, why did I think of that?
You're not fast enough.
Oh wow. Okay, so This was not a podcast about laxatives. That's not how we intended to go into it.
No, just the first few minutes of it.
But we do want to talk about pushing yourself in many aspects of life. So working out, for example, let's start with that. When I work out, I have to set a mindset before I even go into it. Pretty much before I go into anything. This is kind of like bled into every sort of thing in my life that I frame my mindset around working out and pushing myself physically. Before
I'm not following. Where if you work out every day, when does that mindset frame? Like immediately before, or like the day before, or
No,
like you get up in the morning and go, I'm going to the gym today? Because that's,
I guess I do have to do it in the morning when I wake up, but mostly like when I'm putting workout clothes on before I'm going to the gym.
that still doesn't really help me much, because I know that half the time you put the workout clothes on as like at like 9 a.m. and we're going to the gym in like 7 hours.
When I take my rings off to go to the gym.
Okay, so it's immediately before you do a little like, we're working now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you go through anything mindset wise before you go to the gym?
I go, let's hope it's going to go well.
See, if I do that, it's usually not going to go well. You don't like pump yourself up?
No, are you kidding me? What am I going to do? Self-talk myself into like pushing harder? No.
Yeah.
No.
So Taylor and I are two very different people. I have a lot of inner dialogue happening at all times, and it is a lot of like encouraging myself, like good, positive self-talk.
I know that it's just a load of BS if I'm going to mostly internally good, positive self-talk myself. It's a load of BS.
Like you're faking it?
Yes. I'm faking it to myself.
Do you think you can fake it to make it? Like fake it till you make it?
Well, yeah, but I have to believe it. And if I'm going to sit here and be like,
Oh no.
no, I was just going to, because I'm still going through the
Yeah.
whole, so I was like,
I immediately went
I'm
there
not,
too.
I'm not going to poop my pants. I'm not going to poop that was where my brain went. But if we're going on the working out, I don't really, if I sit there and go, I'm gonna be able to do as much as before. I'm gonna be able to lift as much as last week. I'm gonna be able to push myself harder. Zero chance am I gonna push myself harder. I will go the exact opposite. My brain will go like, hey, now we're nickel and diming the exact amount of weight and how much you can do, and we're gonna analyze how well you do each rep, and you're screwed. And I go, no, okay, no, I cannot think about it this much.
It is fascinating that we can accomplish anything together, that we work so well together, because we are very, very different in this aspect. Like
Well,
if I encourage you, if I say it out loud, like what I think you should be thinking in your head, does that help you?
Maybe.
Because if Taylor says things to me to encourage me at the gym, I kind of get angry.
She turns into the Hulk. She becomes the green monster.
I feel bad about it because I like being able to encourage people, and I feel a little defeated if he has to like come in and help me, then I'm not doing a good enough job myself in my own head.
There's been a few times where if there was not physical harm that would come from me just going, sucks to be you, then I would have 100% done it immediately after encouraging you. And it's whenever we do the like chest presses, when you're laying there and you're struggling to go through like the reps, I'm literally spotting you so you don't break a rib.
And I'm
or like
angry.
pop a boob or something. I don't know how that works, but like you're literally.
Actually, I have seen that happen.
Okay, well, if you don't have fake boobs, I don't think that's how it works.
No, it was
Those
it
on
was
a
a
real
man.
one?
It was the muscle. That's
Oh,
why
no.
Brian said
Yeah,
don't
no,
go
no,
far. Ooh, don't look that up. It's terrifying.
No, but there was one time where you were like pushing, and I was like, "Come on, you're like 2/3 of the way up, and it's
Yeah.
your last rep." I was like, "You got it," and you literally looked at me, and you were like, "Don't say anything," and I went, "Man, you are so lucky. I don't want you to hurt yourself," and so I just like lifted it and took it away from her and said, "Well, you don't get your last rep then," and set it down to the side. But if I was if I knew that she would be fine if I let it hit her, I would have walked away. I would have took a full step back and went, have fun. You're not getting through that now, are you?
Oh God. I know it's not a good thing.
It would have bit you so hard if I let that happen, but that's
Yeah.
like that's not cool. I would
Yeah.
never do that, especially because like that would be so painful. And if it broke something or hurt something, like that's not cool. I would never intentionally let you hurt yourself
I appreciate
over that. But like that was the one moment where I was like, I know exactly how she will never do this again.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I haven't done it.
No, you didn't do it again. But it was very but I think you realized as I took it from you, you were like, oh, okay, maybe not.
I think what I've also learned is I have to like put my AirPods on noise cancellation when I am doing those exercises because I need to completely like block out any sound. So if you're like moving at all, it bothers me if I can hear you moving.
When I'm standing over you where you're doing the bench pressing?
Yeah. If I can like hear you, it pulls me out of it.
You're like staring at me.
I can look at you, it's fine. But hearing you is not fine. You have noise cancellation on all the time. I try to talk to you and you
once
scream at me.
Never.
It's just that loud?
It's not even loud. I have my volume at like a third. I have it loud enough to where it's hard to hear what's around me very audibly.
But you don't have noise cancellation on.
I want to know what's happening in the gym. I don't want to be like in my own world and someone walk in and I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, I thought you had noise cancellation on the whole time.
No, the only time I turn the noise cancellation on in the gym is when you have the people who are just throwing weights around for whatever reason. Like the people that do like on the lat pull down machine or whatever, they like pull it down and then they go, done. And they just throw it and it clanks down. I'm like, that actually hurts your ears. So I'm like, well, I'm kind of noise cancel that. I don't want that in my life.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I really don't use noise cancellation. It's honestly like one click of the AirPods too loud to fully hear you the whole time. So then I go one click down.
Okay.
And then because I can hear half of what you say, but I'm like, I actually don't know what you said. I also was paying attention to the song, not you, so I don't know. And then I have to turn it down. But usually I'm frustrated because I have the weights in my hands and I'm like, well, what? I'm like, okay. Yes.
That look is literally, he's so annoyed with me when I say anything to him at the gym because I'm like, number one, I don't know if his workout is going well. I don't know if he's angry at the weights or if he's angry with me, but having to pause your music to listen to another human is very annoying.
I never pause it. I just turn it down a little bit. So then if I don't care what you're saying, I just ignore you and listen to the music.
This is our future. If you ever have hearing aids, you're just going to be like, just completely ignoring me.
One, I hope I don't have to have hearing aids. And two, yes, probably.
An actual PSA. There are a lot of concerts happening all the time, but specifically right now in our lives, a lot of people are going to concerts. Wear earplugs when you go to concerts because you will be so grateful for that when you are older.
And no, not all earplugs make it sound worse. We have earplugs that sound exactly the same, just quieter.
And you can get them on like Amazon or anything, like pretty inexpensive. It'll just say how much it lowers the dB.
Which is decibels, which get like 12 or 15. Don't do more than that. You won't be able to hear anything and you'll be mad that we suggested it. But I mean, if you're watching the YouTube video, there will be a link in the description for it.
Yeah.
For the ones that I recommend as an audio guy who's used a lot of earplugs in my life. If you're listening, go to the YouTube video, I guess, to find it. I don't know. I can, you know what? I can put it in the description. I'll put a link in the description so you can find it.
Yeah.
So it'll be in the description for everybody.
If you ever get the like ringing in your ears or like your ears are tired after going to an event or a concert, just wear earplugs the next time. You will be able to talk to people. You'll be able to hear people. Like it will be fine. It will be so much better.
And you won't be tired. You won't be as tired.
Well, you'll be tired, but your ears won't be as tired.
I mean, you won't have like ear fatigue.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
You get like tired just from hearing loud stuff for too long.
I thought Taylor was crazy when I went to like I don't know, you were probably performing somewhere and I went to watch you and be with you and you were like, you need to wear earplugs. And I was like, oh, what? Like, I won't be able to hear you. And you were like, no, if you're going to be able to hear when you're 50, like, I think you used 50, we were like 21 at the time.
Well, with the amount of times that we were going to be at, I had a residency, so we were there like multiple times a week, and you were like, I don't need earplugs. I'm like, dude, it is so loud. You need earplugs. And we're here for like 7 hours. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
that's literally like 14 hours a week that you are going to just be sitting in ungodly loud rooms. No,
I'm
you
glad
got to
you
put
did
earplugs
that.
in. Just like you and laying out in the sun with baby oil, you absolute monster.
I used to be very, very tan.
I don't want beef jerky skinned wife.
But like, no,
No.
I get it. There's no but,
No.
like, I get it. I get it. I fully get it.
No beef jerky.
I do wish I was a little bit tanner right now.
You can get tan while still wearing sunscreen. Look at me. I'm pretty white right now. But like, I also stay inside most of the time. But if I was to go outside more, I do get very tan
Yeah.
and I wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
You are capable.
Yes. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay. So much for talking about we're
Anyway,
pushing through
yes,
your bad habits.
Exactly.
Tying
it
back
all
in.
comes together. So, okay, can you talk a little bit about like pushing yourself, being willing to stay at weight and go down? Or
Yeah, I don't do it. I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it.
I'm not great at like lowering my weight when I need to. So when you are weightlifting, like it's either maintaining or building. Hopefully,
Muscle.
yes. Hopefully you don't have to like drop weight too much day to day, but sometimes you do.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time. I understand it. I'm having a hard time coming to terms with that not every week is a constant growth.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it may actually physically be growing, it hurts. I don't understand. But it's been really hard for me to be okay with like say I'm doing something with like 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've been trying to get to 25 pounds. And then the next time I go, I can't even lift the 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I want to throw the 20-pound weights through the wall, burn the friggin' building to the ground, and quit. But then I'm like, but that doesn't make my muscles do anything. That doesn't help me if I do all that.
Exactly.
But getting out of that headspace has literally just been it's so difficult for me to do it. It's hard for me to explain because it's like, it's almost like I just have to go and not care.
Right.
My brain is like I'm having to censor myself as the words are coming out. I've almost said so many things that I don't want to say on here. Not things, cuss words.
Yeah, bad words.
Bad words.
So
My favorite words.
saying like basically you need to not care it's such a confusing thing because like in everything you do, you want to care. You want to like put in as much effort and as much emotion as you can into something. But at the same time, if you don't care, a lot of times it turns out better.
I think what it is, yes, sort of. Using I don't care is a very vague way of putting it. I would say it's more like the way that we're conditioned because of like social media and society and everything with like our physical weight and the number of our weight and the number of our age and the number of how much like if you go to the gym, how many pounds you push or pull or whatever. And it's so like ingrained in us that if it's too big, then it's bad. Or if it's too little, then it's bad. Where it's like, I am not a huge human. And the amount of weight that I can lift is not very large. But also, I don't have a goal weight. Like, I'm not trying to be like, I can bicep curl 40 pounds. Frankly, I have zero idea how many I can do because I never do that. I know that 15 pounds is not that hard. Right. But I'm like, I don't know. I also that's not a workout I'm doing. I'm sorry. That's getting sidetracked. But like having that frame of like, okay, well, if you weigh going into like me losing weight too, this is kind of a jumbled thought, but like with me losing weight, people freak out when I say how much I weigh. Like they freak out. And I'm like, look at me. I don't look unhealthy. I don't look like I'm withering away. It's like I ate half a box of Cheez-Its yesterday.
I was going to say the empty box of Cheez-Its in the trash can is
I'm not
telling
starving.
a lot.
Yeah, I'm not starving myself. I'm not doing anything that's like wrong. I mean, as far as I can tell, pretty good health. Like we're active. It's like I'm doing everything. Like just because my number is low doesn't mean that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Or and frankly, the low number isn't a thing that I'm like tied to, or the high number in weights isn't a thing that I'm tied to. It's more like the frustration of last week I did this. I'm trying to push myself that one of the 4 sets I can do a weight higher. And then I can't even do one set on the same weight as last week. And then I'm just like, what? How?
There's a strange thing of like setting goals, pushing yourself, but being okay with whatever the outcome is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think if I completed my thought on that before you said, because I left it at how. I don't know either.
But I like, for me growing up, and physical stuff is easier for me. Taylor coming into this later in life, the physical stuff is harder for him. But for me, like the not intellectual, but like the emotional, like verbally expressing myself, that is harder for me because I spent so many years, and this sounds so odd, but like I spent so many years just internally, like learning, thinking, growing, setting goals, working hard. But like for me, a lot of it was physical. So I was at the skating rink all the time, all day. And it wasn't like the normal, you have to go to practice. It was, my parents worked at the skating rink. They taught skating. So I had to be there for hours. So it wasn't like I was expected to skate for 9 hours a day or something like that. Like that was not expected. It was normal practice times, like 2 hours here, 3 hours there. Like, figure out what works for you and do what works for you. So growing up, that was a really great structure because it taught me to like build, say I have 6 hours that I'm going to be here. How much time do I want to spend doing this? How much time do I want to do this? Do I need to fit homework in? Like, what do I need to do? So you'd think I'd be better at managing my time now. But the physical stuff, I had to like pep talk myself because sure, I had coaches and brothers and friends and stuff that were there, but a lot of it is internally what you have to say to yourself because you're not always going to get validation from outside. You're not always going to get encouragement from outside. You have to be your biggest supporter and you have to be your biggest cheerleader. So I think I learned that from a very young age, which I'm grateful for. But it's very interesting watching you get like frustrated with yourself and like get in your own head in a negative way when I just so badly want to be like, no, just like switch that talk a little bit like in your head and make it a positive thing and actually like build yourself up.
My frustration does not with physical activity. My frustration hardly comes from me being negative to myself. Oh, I guess I am being negative to myself. It's not so much speaking to myself, thinking to myself negatively. It's more, you have to be kidding me.
Just constant state just of like, you've got to be kidding.
I'm like, come on. The worst is balancing. The one, I have no idea what the exercise is. The one where we hold the weights and we balance on the one leg. Mm-hmm. I know that my balance is not that great. I mean, my balance is fine now, but it's not nearly it's not nearly as good on my right leg as my left leg because my left leg is the post leg.
Same.
Great. Cool. I know that. So I go do it on my left leg and then I go, oh, well, except for the part where I'm still a little wobbly and the point is to get stronger and to build the stability. That's the whole reason I'm doing this. And I'm like, cool. And then I go to my right leg. This is the worst leg. And it's the end of the workout where I'm really tired. And I'm like losing my balance and having a hard time doing it. And then I'm just mad because I'm like, can't we just do this like 3/4 as good as the other leg. No, you can't even hold it at all. I'm like, I will break everything.
Have you ever thought of switching the order that you do it?
Yeah. Doesn't help.
Because
You
I
want
had
to
to do
start
that.
on the wrong foot? That's
Yeah.
a horrible idea.
No, sometimes
When
it
I've
can be
done
better.
it, no. Because then I go, great, I'm just going to be even more pissed. Cool. Awesome. I will burn it still.
So, okay. What?
I was going to say that sometimes I hate doing these podcasts because when we do these podcasts, I realize where my strengths are and where my weaknesses are instead of just focusing on my weaknesses. And I go, oh man, I am actually pretty okay at some of this stuff.
It's not good to focus on your weaknesses.
Yeah, because you got to make them stronger somehow.
Sure. But like, okay, are you saying it brings to light like good things? That's great.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
I don't know if it brings it to light so much as I just am a more, yeah, that's the same thing.
You're aware of it.
Just going to say I'm more aware of it.
Taylor, you're a good person. You're good at a lot of things. You're a good human. You're very kind. You're very smart. Maybe I should just wake up and tell you this in the morning. You'd be so mad if I just started complimenting you first thing.
I think I would implode.
Oh my gosh.
I think I'd be like Wally and you do the and then it'd just be trash.
Wait, can I point these out? Because we haven't talked about this. We went to the Lego store and we got fun toys.
So the fun thing about being self-employed is you really just pick something and you put it, if you do video stuff, you put it in front of the camera and now it's right off.
It was Taylor's very valid excuse of why he wanted it. I was like, where are we going to put this?
On the podcast set.
There we go.
To be fair, this would not fly the same way if it was only an audio podcast. For the audio podcast listeners, we have two of the little cute Lego guys that are, they're not very expensive. I think it was like $12 or 15, 14
$12.99, I think.
Yeah. They're just the cutest little Lego guys. And we bought the Wally and Eve set. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, the Wally and Eve set. They're super cute.
Back there we have like an art thing.
Yeah, we bought the space postcards because we like space.
We do.
That's that. I was bringing up that you were pointing out that you're better at the physical stuff, pushing through the physical stuff, and I'm better at pushing through like the mental or the creative stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense as to why it's a lot easier for me to not do the physical stuff, and it's a lot easier for you to not do the creative or the emotional stuff because that's really like for me. I just am like, cool, great, go, see ya. Creativity,
Yeah.
okay. It's literally focus, which you can have been saying the same thing about the physical stuff. And I go, no, it's not. No, it's not. I can focus all day and then I ruin it. And
Yeah.
although the tie is kind of the same for music. So for me, with being creative with music, while I don't create every single day musically, I'm absorbing as much as I can. But you just have to get out of your way. That's really the biggest thing is don't overthink it, and then don't underthink it, especially if you're going to the gym because then you'll hurt yourself. But like it for music, it's very just like push yourself to sit there and do it. For me. But then it's beyond that. It's very like, just go. You have no idea where it's going to go. If you knew where it was going to go, there would be no reason you'd be sitting here. Like there's no fun. Like why would you be here if you knew the end result?
Yeah.
It's in the discovery. That's the part of that makes it enjoyable is like getting there. It's the process of creating it and then having something to share. Right? That's that. But the not overthinking every single step of the way, like overthinking how you're going to get there, why you're going to get there, when you're going to get there, all the little details of where you shape it to go. Like let that come as time goes on with it. And then you stay out of your way.
Everything you just said about music can be put into your fitness.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I promise you.
No, it can't.
Because the days when you have to maybe hold your weight, maybe go down, the end goal, you will get there. It all builds.
It's not. It takes so much longer, though. It takes so much longer.
Everything takes time. Okay. One more relating it back to artistic roller skating real quick, because I tell people that they will lose a skill 8 times before it's stuck with them. So like the main thing that this is used for is like triple jumps. If you're learning a triple sow cow.
So you're going to fall 8 times and then you got it forever?
No. You're going to lose it. Like one day you're going to come in and you cannot do the jump. It's gone. It has disappeared from your body 8 times.
Yeah.
So we used to count, like this is a real thing. And we used to count, and it like one of my students would be on number 6 and I'm like, you're getting close, but it's so frustrating. It is the most frustrating thing to like, you're so close to something, you have it and then you lose it. And it's like, whether it's your focus, whether it's your muscle, your endurance, like whatever it is, there are so many different factors in life for everything, but you may lose it one day, and you just have to see the big picture down the road. You will get the thing. You'll get there. You have to keep working at it. You have to keep chipping away at it.
That's very interesting. I can relate that more to, well, I mean, it would also work with the gym, but like I can relate that to drumming.
Mm-hmm.
And that pisses me off.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause some days
It's
I'll be able to
maddening.
play like the hardest thing that I've ever been able to do. And it's like a great accomplishment. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, you can't even, your brain will not even calculate how that goes today. And I'm like, great, cool. This was my win for today, or at least that's what I was lining it up as. And it's not. And I'm like, don't burn it down.
Stepping back, taking a break, like removing yourself from the situation, not thinking about it.
Oh God, it makes me so frustrated just thinking about it. But
It helps.
I will say that through a lot of the like critical thinking through this, or like processing through this, my environment has affected my everything for pushing through and creativity and all of that a lot. And I don't even have a good way that I get past it. I just really honestly try to ignore it. I think the only time that I haven't been able to ignore it is like when we were in line for the Haunted Mansion the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It's very first world problems, but like we were just at Disneyland floating around, and we were just hanging out, right? And it was a pretty warm day. It wasn't like really hot, but it was I wouldn't qualify it as like really hot. We've been at Disneyland when it's way hotter.
Most of the lines are in the shade, and Haunted Mansion is not in the shade.
No, and we were in line and we were like, okay, we can wait 30 minutes. It'll slowly be moving. There's patches of shade. They put things up so that you're not always in the sun. But the line was far longer than the time had said, and we were like standing there, and kind of gross, but like I could feel the sweat dripping down my chest, and it was like under my bag from my shirt. I lifted it and it was just, you saw the bag in sweat. And I was like, oh. But that's one of those times where I was like, I guess this ties into this. I knew when to not push myself to stay here. I was like, the reward is not worth the frustration. And I'm like, if I stand here not moving with still air in the beating down sun, feeling the sweat bead down whatever part of me, I'm like, I am gonna lose it. Like it's gonna mess with the rest of my day. And
that's such a good, like, knowing when to stop yourself, knowing when to step away, knowing when to take a break is so important, because like that's maybe a small thing. Like you're hot in the sun, like knowing when to take yourself out of that situation if you can. That might be a small thing, but like in life, there are big situations where you're like, I need to get out of this situation. I'm going to lose it. Or like, I'm either physically going to like freak out, or mentally and emotionally, like I just can't take it. And knowing how to remove yourself, when to remove yourself, is an awesome skill that I am still trying to develop.
It's progress over time for sure. I mean, like I've improved so much at the gym. Like most of the time, I still get frustrated on some of the stuff, mostly with like balance or things like that. But I don't really the amount of weight I can do does not really bother me. I also realize how tied it is to like your previous day's food and like how hydrated you are. There's like a million things that totally ruin it if you don't pay attention,
Yeah.
which is just kind of frustrating that it's so many things. I want to just be able to like go. I want to treat it like creativity where you're like, oh, let's just go, which
Yeah.
obviously also has a lot of things, but I'm more
You
like
can just kind of
versed.
let it fly.
I can just let it
Yeah.
go with the creative stuff. But it's really mostly perspective too, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I sat there and we were in like good conversation or doing things that were like very entertaining and very fun and it wasn't a place that we recognized all the time and like wanted to spend the time in there, it would make so much more sense to stay in it and maybe not switch our headspace so much, or like go get a snack or something, or if we had brought snack, like do something to help make that time pass faster.
Mhm.
But like obviously it's a place that we go a lot. Well, that may not be obvious for everybody that's listening. We are Disneyland magic key holders, so we go to Disneyland fairly often and we enjoy it a lot. It is pretty much our escape. We don't really do like vacations. This is
Yeah.
kind of our replacement for that. But that to say, like the perspective is like it's really annoying how important it is. But like everything is so much worse when you're in a bad headspace versus a
Yeah.
good headspace. And it could literally be like I'm just like frustrated that it's hot. And then I just like you can be like, how was your coffee? And I'm like, I was gonna say burn it again, but I was just like,
I swear Taylor does. He's not a pyromaniac.
no, I do like fire, but not that much. Yeah, but it's just like when you're in a bad headspace and you just get asked a question, you just hate it. You just hate it.
Yeah.
You're just mad. You're just like tense. You're just like, "Argh."
Well, like the other day I was vlogging. We took Scarlett out for like a day of fun for us to just all hang out. And I was supposed to be vlogging the day. And Taylor was like, are you not going to film this? And I was like tired, hungry. We were on our way to mini golf. And I think I took a nap in the car on the way there. And I was just like not feeling it. And it had nothing to do with like vlogging. Like I could have vlogged, I could have filmed whatever, but I was just like, I'm just like not in a good mood. And then he took my phone and he like got some cool shots and I was like, yeah, I need to, it like reset me because I was like, I need to not miss these moments. I need to do this and I can get over myself. Like, you're fine. Calm down.
Yeah, in the notes I couldn't remember what the shots were. I was like, what did I take your phone and get the shots of? Like I can't think.
Is the ball coming out of the thing?
Yes, I know now. There's in one of the vlogs, there's a moment where, you know, when you go mini golf, you hit it into a thing, it goes down like a PVC tube through some other sorcery and some science, and then it comes out the other side.
That's
and
a good noise. Yeah.
Or it could be like the other side and goes towards the hole. And
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully, unless you're at a bad mini golf place, then it goes like 1,000 yards down the road. And you were just like, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, but literally I see how this could be such a fun video.
Yeah.
Like I know that you would see a perspective that's interesting and different. And then she just didn't want to do it. But I couldn't remember. All that to say, in the notes, you wrote that I took your camera and did something. I'm like, I do not touch. I'm so hands off with the vlog. What did I do? And then you were talking about mini golf, and I went, oh, I did the mini golf one.
Yeah.
I understand now. Got it. That makes sense.
But like you doing things like that to help me kind of get out of it, that is helpful. When you need help, like changing your perspective or doing something, I let you simmer for a bit because
I'm an awful person.
Did you just say you're an awful person?
Yeah.
You're not an awful person, but you are awful to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
I think everyone is.
I agree. I hope. I'm working on it. Sorry,
I
didn't mean
like
to
you.
interrupt.
I like you.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But I let you simmer a little bit. And then I can't say this is the right thing, but I always ask you or like say something completely unrelated because I'm like, I got to test the waters. Like if I come back to whatever he's mad about and I ask him about it or say something about it, he is going to lose it.
I'll light you up.
So I have to be like, hey, have you eaten? Or like something completely unrelated, like, oh, this oatmeal's really good or something. And then I can know if he looks at me like I am the biggest idiot on the planet, then I probably shouldn't continue with whatever I'm about to say. But if he's like, then I'm like, okay, I can.
I'm trying to think through any of the times that you've done that to me.
Every situation that you are mad and I need to like talk to you or like help you, try to help you, I have to test the waters a little bit. And then you're like, you're an idiot. Why are you talking about that? Like something completely unrelated. And then that's why.
I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like it. I don't know. I don't.
You don't do that to me. You just go right for it.
Let's do this right now. Right this moment. We're gonna get through it. And if you're not gonna talk, I'm gonna ask you the question again. And if you're not gonna answer it, I'm gonna ask it again. And then it's gonna start getting more condescending as we keep going down the list here.
Truly, that's how it goes.
Until you start.
I don't know which way is right. I don't know which way is good. If either is good, I'm not saying we're good at this. I'm just saying this is what we do.
I think that it feels like when we have the conversation, it's better, fresher because you don't remember.
True.
It at all. I've learned that because we've tried go diffuse, go figure it out, and then we try to come back to solve how you got there, and you're like, I don't know, and I'm like, you can't learn from I don't know. We gotta improve from somewhere, but if you don't have somewhere that you're going from, I can't help you improve because now the I don't know is just literally your only path, and I'm like, okay, typically hindsight's 20/20. And usually it is exactly 20/20. But when it comes to your frustration or me helping you push through something, it has to, I've found that it works best instantly when I cannot be emotionally charged in it.
Yeah.
Which is not often. But
because I will truly forget. Like I will, and it's not a like, oh, like I'm just going to forget about it. I like think through things. I figure it out for what I need to move on. And then I just move on.
I feel like this is going to sound mean. I don't mean it in a mean way, but I feel like you say you're doing a lot more with your brain on the situation than you do, only because of the way it repeats itself and the things like there's not as much learning from the mistakes as mistakes is used a little more aggressively than it needs to be here, but you're like not learning from it nearly as much as you could be if, to my perspective, you were thinking through it as much. Let me just use this cup for example. Like I know that it's harder to clean that cup with coffee stains in the bottom of it than when you leave the coffee to dry, right? It's easy because that cup's clear. This one's black, so I can't really use it. The inside of this one's black. But your cup, if you just set it out and you're like, cool, I'm done with my coffee, and you set it and it has coffee stains at the bottom, when you come home, there will be a coffee ring and you have to spend time to clean it out versus literally the like same amount of effort pretty much, or just tiny bit more. Turn on faucet, go like that, dump, like turn on, like fill it with water, dump it out, turn it off, set it down.
Yeah.
Like 10 more seconds of your time, right? And then it means it's clean enough to reuse it to put coffee in. Honestly, it's your cup. I don't use it. Like you can use it twice in a day or in 2 days, whatever. Mm-hmm. But your habit is set it down, let it harden, and then it's like gross hardened old coffee in it. And then you have to like clean it to use it.
Yeah.
Which now actually took more time than before. So it's not the best example of like you're not learning from something.
It's a very valid example of something I do all the time.
But I'm trying to relate that in the sense of like some of the things that you're doing that are mistakes, I feel like you hold too strongly to yourself, that you're like beating yourself up over way more. So you're not thinking through it as much as this was objectively what I did. This was the objective result I got. This is what I could have done to objectively do it better.
Yeah.
But instead, you go, That's what I did. I should have known better. That's what the result I got. I knew that was going to happen, but why didn't I know that? Like, and you just beat yourself up on the why,
Mm-hmm.
and then you circle that for a little while, but then you never come back to like, how do we not do that? How do we fix this? Like, how do I improve?
So I need to remember, and I literally just need to remember this. Like, I think through things better if I write it out. It's not like talking to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be at some point, but for me, it's not like vocalizing it, like talking through it, because especially like with you, because you will overpower me in the talking.
Yeah.
So I can't like get out what I'm trying to say because it'll sound stupid for 10 minutes and then I'll get there. But if I write it out, it's better for me, for my brain, for my processing, for everything. Like I think back to when I was a kid, it's always been this way. Like when I was a kid, when I wanted to quit, for any skaters listening, I wanted to quit freestyle and I wanted to quit figures so badly.
Because you were a sack of potatoes when you were in the air?
Yeah. Air jumping is not my thing. Figures, my foot was on the ground. I just hated it because I hated practicing it. But I really wanted to quit those and focus on dance. Good thing I did eventually. But I literally wrote it on a piece of paper, my letter of resignation, and gave it to my parents and ran away. And my parents were probably like, what the heck? Like this kid. And then they like read it and like came and talked to me, and I just was like so emotional. I think that's what it is I'm like very emotional. So talking is difficult. Like to talk when I'm filled with emotion is hard. Writing, that's fine.
Interesting.
So when I'm really upset, I feel like I need to write it out.
That's very interesting. I could just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk some more. And then sit in a movie for hours and watch.
And watch.
And listen.
Yeah, no talking. Yeah, we need to get to the movies.
Yes, we do.
We are seeing Oppenheimer for the 3rd time.
3 times. If you don't know, I like it. If you
it a
can't
lot.
tell, I like that movie. If you listen to the other podcast that we talk about our favorite movies, you'll then definitely know that I like it.
I like it too, or else I wouldn't have agreed to go see it a third time.
I also want to see it on film again. Now that I like know the movie more, I want to like indulge a little bit in it.
Are we gonna eat popcorn?
Heck yeah, I'm eating popcorn. It might be some more cement for my stomach, but you only live once.
On what is it? Smartless.
He calls Jason
Jason
Bateman calls Cheez-Its colon cement, and I was dying laughing.
And we went to the store and he wanted Cheez-Its, and I was like, okay, we literally bought laxatives and Cheez-Its at the same time. And I was like, I don't think this is a good combination. If Jason called it colon cement and you're taking a laxative, I don't know.
I don't either. I've never had a problem with eating Cheez-Its or anything like that, so it's never been like a thing.
You've also never taken a laxative.
I've also never done that, and that's been a wild ride. And it's, yeah. On that note.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope our conversation
talking about pushing
helps you push through life.
Push. If you like it, please subscribe. Please like it. Turn on the bell if you're going to subscribe. If you want to know about getting these podcasts. If you want to support us, you can sign up for a membership on YouTube or on our website, glitterandcatlitter.com.
Yeah.
And until the next one,
we'll see you later.